You don't just meet interesting people in Southeast Asia, you meet unfinished stories, men who sound impressive for about 15 minutes, men who moved here for freedom but never built anything with it, men who talk like winners but act like they're in hiding, as if they cut off that cord-appointed ankle bracelet monitor at Heathrow and tossed it in the garbage can before they boarded a one-way flight to Vietnam in order to avoid criminal prosecution. But this video is not about being judgmental. It's about survival. Because over here, association with the wrong expat friends will quietly drain your ambition, your time, and your reputation. And don't get me started about all you fucking losers that asked me to borrow $20. Sad. Don't be sad. Look, I live in Cambodia. I spent years in Vietnam and traveled extensively through Thailand. And I can tell you, these archetypes repeat themselves over and over everywhere. So let's talk about 10 common expat personality types that you should avoid if you really want to build a future over here. Rule number 1 of expat life: if a man explains his past more than he's living his present, quietly walk away. Isn't that right, Casey?
Exactly.
You'll meet this guy everywhere. In Phnom Penh, he used to run deals in Singapore. In Bangkok, he was big in finance. In Saigon, he almost sold a startup. Almost. Used to. Back then. This guy's identity is expired, but he keeps presenting it like a valid passport. Bro, that won't get you into my house on Sunday for dinner. Why to avoid this guy? He doesn't want growth. He just wants witnesses to his decline. This next guy is always early on to something. In Thailand, he's selling altcoins from a cafe in Chiang Mai. In Cambodia, he's building a DAO, but can't explain exactly, technically, what that means. In Vietnam, he's been about to launch something for a couple of years, you know? There's a movie called Failure to Launch, starring Matthew McConaughey. You guys want the synopsis? It's called Move Out of Your Mother's Fucking Basement and Get a Life. If the opportunity were real, this guy wouldn't be pitching it to strangers over beer. You want my advice? You meet this guy, kick his fucking ass and steal his wallet. You think anyone's going to look for him tomorrow? His own mother probably hates the guy. Oh, this man moved here for healing. How nice. Divorce, lawsuits, burnout, family betrayal. Fellas, can we get this man a tampon, please? In Phnom Penh, he drinks beer by the riverside and tells the same story to new arrivals every night. In Bangkok, he overshares by the second drink. In Vietnam, he mistakes cheap living for emotional progress. You're not his therapist, man. In Southeast Asia, it's definitely not rehab. Avoid this guy so you don't inherit the problems you didn't earn. This next guy introduces himself with his resume. Ivy League, former military, ex-intelligence, top firm. In Thailand, he drops titles. In Cambodia, he drops names. In Vietnam, he drops affiliations that can never be verified. Men that are competent don't need to convince you. If credentials come before the conversation, well, lose my fucking phone number. This guy wants to grab coffee. In Bangkok, he knows everyone. In Phnom Penh, he's plugged in. In Saigon, he's connecting dots. But nothing ever ships. No product, no results, no receipts. Proximity to builders doesn't make you one. You'll meet this guy every night. In Cambodia, at the riverside bars. In Thailand, on bar stools on Sukhumvit, Soi 11. And in Vietnam, smoking cigarettes and theorizing life. He's got deep thoughts after midnight and big realizations after the fifth drink, but zero discipline in daylight. Insight doesn't equal execution. Don't confuse talk with progress. This man performs simplicity. I live like a local. I don't need much. I've rejected Western values. He's broke. In Cambodia, he judges comfort. In Thailand, he mocks ambition. And in Vietnam, he confuses frugality with virtue. Guys, over here, minimalism can be a real tool to restore and repair your life. It's not a fucking Halloween costume for your identity crisis. Oh, this guy hates goals. Why hustle? Just enjoy life, bro. Money doesn't matter. He's always short on it. In Thailand, he goes discipline and insecurity. In Cambodia, he frames stagnation as wisdom. And in Vietnam, he resents anyone who's moving forward. Bro, get a job. Your ambition threatens his comfort. The serial reinvention guy. Every 6 months, there's a new identity, a new business, a new philosophy, a new aesthetic. When he lived in Bali, he was a life coach. When he touched down in Thailand, he was a trader. And in Da Nang, well, he was just another douchebag. Same results, zero compounding. Solid expats don't talk much. They have routines, move quietly, and build systems. And they could probably explain what they do in one sentence. For instance, you could say, I run the Southeast Asian back office for a large U.S. production company. Isn't that right, Casey?
Exactly.
Busy people don't need to convince you their life already makes sense. Here's a rule of thumb. If a man's present requires no explanation, he's probably doing fine. Southeast Asia doesn't change who you are. It removes friction that reveals discipline or exposes fantasy. Choose your associations carefully. Out here, the cost of living is low, but the cost of bad associations is just, well, unbearable. I haven't left my condo in over 25 days, partly because I don't want to hang out with the other expats in this part of the world, but mostly because we've been busy. Casey and I have been grinding it out. If you want to see some of the work, some of the AI stuff we've been creating, check out his channel.
Exactly.
See you in the next one.